So the first talk of this session is going to be delivered by Theo and is going to be on technical codes, potentialities in cybersecurity, a contextual approach on the ethics of small digital organizations in France. So Theo, the floor is yours whenever you want to start. You're currently on mute, Theo.
Yes. So, okay. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So, I lost control on, okay. Thank you for your virtual presence. Today's presentation is about a critical and exploratory case study we conducted within very small digital organization in France, and this project was funded and made possible by Audencia Business School, the European Union, and La Région Pays de la Loire. Okay, so cybersecurity is a phenomenon that has been around since the beginning of computer science, but it has only become a global concern in the last 10 to 12 years. Securing territories and organization quickly became an organic issue. That is the need to engage territories, the organization, and the individuals within a symbiotic protection. Thus, engaging in symbiotic protection is de facto an ethical commitment to the whole. IT security manager can thus opt for centralization or decentralization of its cybersecurity management. So I'm going to introduce theoretical and managerial issues for this research and present the research design, which allowed us to answer our research question. And then I'm going to present our main result and discuss them. So we were specifically interested in the study of human-computer interaction in a contextual approach, which is lacking in information system security field. We focused in particular on the ethical dimension of this relationship by adopting a critical stance that allowed us to explore questions of ideology and emancipation within the problem of centralization, decentralization of the management of cybersecurity. In particular, we used the framework of Andrew Feinberg's technical codes, which allowed us to look critically at the ethical issue we highlighted while highlighting alternatives to the dominant vision of technology. This is done through the interests, value, and priorities that are encoded in the technology used. So in this framework, not-for-profits, organizations, and very small digital companies are because of their handling of sensitive data, such as personal data, and large companies, sensitive data handled by small digital companies. They are also important assets for a local economic ecosystem. For instance, most of the digital not-for-profit organizations fight the digital divide, and small digital businesses provide highly technical services and flag the digital economy's growth of a territory. These small organizations have also limited financial and time resources to dedicate to cybersecurity management. So we therefore wonder, what are the potentialities of users' technical codes with regard to the organization's cybersecurity? So to answer this question, we adopted a critical in-depth research approach, which is different from other qualitative and interpretativist research since it uses a normative critical social theory in order to bring to light emancipatory cues. Also, The design aims at generating reflexivity among all stakeholders of the research, both researchers and practitioners, yet not targeting only individual reflexivity, but a more dialectical reflexivity. So in this frame, we conducted semi-structured qualitative interview and floated observation. So we especially conducted 22 interviews as well as 16 hours of observation in 12 small businesses and 10 not-for-profits in France. These organizations have in common a similar cybersecurity system. So first, we understand cybersecurity as a protection of human and information assets, as defined by von Sohm and von Nickers in 2013. So the mobilization of cybersecurity makes it possible to question the information system security, but also the organization security management, and even at some level, the society's management of security. But all these levels are understood from the human factors. So the human factor is at the center of this definition of cybersecurity. And in our fieldwork, the small organization cybersecurity system is a very light, flexible, and often very outsourced technological system where users mostly bring their own device and are trusted user, that is, there is no network segregation, for example. And the security is therefore decentralized to users and rely on small local storage or cloud storage and third-party security services. So from the analysis of our data, we have isolated 3 technical codes. The technical rationality seems to be the dominant interest, especially among small digital businesses. This technical code is oriented towards the economic optimization of resources, while security having to be aligned with this priority. Technical security is an alternative interest based on small IT security and blockchain service organization we've interviewed. This organization puts security before any other value, but they are open to negotiate with the dominant technical rationality when a compromise is necessary for the continuity of their businesses. They often prefer to adapt security technology on a case-by-case basis, thanks to their highly developed IT skills. And finally, the technical resistance is an interest based on the development of security practices and tools independently of government and large tech companies. Technical resistance rather concern associations or very small not-for-profit organization and largely refer to hacker and do-it-yourself culture. And of course, the total decentralization of the organization and security practices. So to this end, this organization devote a lot of time and resources to the learning of security practices by all their members. These technical codes allows us to uncover 2 alternative technical codes to the main dominant technical rationality in our society, and to highlight the values and priority conflicting that arise in this small organization cybersecurity. In that sense, what is morally acceptable in a given cybersecurity management may depend on the technical code and in the security technology used and the actual organizational appropriation of this technology. So indeed, this contextualized and critical approach highlights a form of centralization of cybersecurity management at a territorial scale. The technical codes aimed in a powerful third-party security provider urge small organizations to take side, either by accepting this technology, negotiating their use, and partially modify them, or rejecting them, basically. Indeed, how each type of organization builds its cybersecurity also depends on the user's relation to the organization's security technology. So it can be a symbiotic relation, dominance of technology value, and a dominance of users value. So we identified many practices in our data collection. Those we illustrate each type with key example here. So the symbiotic relation is the congruence of the end interest of a security technology and the interest of the user. For instance, a symbiotic relation under the technical rationality is the choice of a small digital business CEO to concentrate most of the internal business activity on G Suites in order to have a quite secure, free, and easy to use service for his team. However, in the working context of an organization life, a technology and a user's interests may not always be identical, and therefore creating ethical dilemma for the user. This is where the security technology and the user contend for a situational dominance in their interest. Since the technical rationality is an ideological interest, it was found to recurrently dominate the technology-user relation in almost every organization we studied. And lastly, the dominance of users' interest over security technology interest is particularly visible in the technical security interest, and also in the technical resistance interest. So for instance, we interviewed a professional penetration tester who has tested systematically the vulnerability of any system he has to deal with. Consequently, he prioritized the enhancement of hardware and software over ease of use. And so this penetration tester rejected the designed security of the tool he was provided by transforming it. And still, negotiation and rejection require technical knowledge, experience sharing, and are based on strong values, both for technology and users. And this enabling power does not seem to be within the reach of any small organization. Consequently, this situation of technical rationality dominance is far from being optimal for the development of a good cybersecurity management among all small digital organizations, and ultimately for the data security of their customers. This research is of course limited by its sample and design, and further wider research should be conducted, especially in larger companies and in different organizational and cultural contexts. Moreover, this research is one of the only, to our knowledge, empirical research on not-for-profit organization. So we call for further research on not-for-profits, and it will be particularly interesting to study NGO and larger not-for-profit organizations that are international, that bear strong ethics while being the target of, for example, rogue states. Nevertheless, this exploratory research proposed an alternative way to decentralize and democratize the management of cybersecurity among digital small organizations. thank you very much. And I'm open to discuss if you have any question. Thank you.
All right, thank you for this very interesting talk. All right, let's see if we have any questions. So we don't have any questions at the moment. Do we have any? Do you have like any future steps? What are the future steps that you're going to take for continuing this research? What do you see as the next step?
Yes, so thank you for your question. So as the next step for this research, of course, I would like to go deeper into data because it would be interesting to have deeper interesting of each side because we can see three technical codes that appeared in the analysis. So and that tend to belong to either small digital businesses, specialists, small business about IT specialists, and small not-for-profits. So we couldn't know that before the analysis, and after that it would be interesting to go deeper in each to see if there is real difference depending on the organization, or is it really about especially the users, the people we interviewed, what are the other causes of that. Yeah.
So you'll have to have a look at multiple groups, and I think that would make the research quite interesting to see if you can categorize these different groups and like continue this research in this way. All right. So thank you so much for the talk.